York, and Kelsey Plum blows the lid off the joint, letting us all in on a small secret. Team Clark, they had no idea what was awaiting them walking into that locker room come WNBA.
Kelsey Plum completely crossed the line, and Sabrina Ionescu clearly wasn't entertaining it for a second. What was supposed to be a powerful show of unity at the WNBA All-Star stage unraveled into one of the most awkward press conference moments in recent memory. Out of nowhere, Plum decided to take a swipe at Caitlin Clark while seated right beside one of Clark's most vocal supporters. The timing, the setting, the boldness of it all, absolutely staggering. Instead of solidarity, fans got tension, side eyes, and a moment that felt less like leadership and more like unnecessary drama.
We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis was meant to be Caitlin Clark's grand homecoming, a spotlight moment in front of her own crowd. Instead, she found herself sidelined with a groin injury, forced to watch from the bench as the celebration that should have centered around her unfolded without her. That alone was disappointing. But the real controversy didn't happen on the court. It exploded afterward, in a moment that felt unnecessary and poorly timed. Kelsey Plum took a swipe at Team Clark, turned what should have been a night of unity and celebration into an unexpected wave of tension.
Plum was at the All-Star Game in Indianapolis. She made quite a scene, bruh. This time, at the conclusion of the game, I was one of the first people to break the story about her actually making comments about Caitlin Clark's team not being at this meeting for the CBA negotiations. Now, we know the WNBA All-Stars came out with these t-shirts. Pay us.
The WNBA players had just delivered a unified statement with their "Pay us what you owe us" shirts, a bold, coordinated message aimed at strengthening their position in collective bargaining talks. It was a moment designed to reflect solidarity, strength, and shared purpose across the league. But instead of letting that statement stand on its own, Kelsey Plum shifted the focus with unnecessary commentary that reignited tension. What should have remained a powerful display of unity quickly spiraled into avoidable drama, highlighting the uneasy dynamic that some veteran players seem to have with the league's most talked about star.
Women's National Basketball Players Association President Brianna Stewart, Vice President, and Nafisa Collier, all on opposing teams from Team Clark. How does it work out that the 3 biggest players in the Players Association had an idea about wearing a "Pay us what you owe us" t-shirt, make this decision last minute that this is what the players will do? Team Clark somehow isn't present.
During the post-game press conference, Plum was walking reporters through the morning meeting where players agreed to wear the unity shirts, a moment that was supposed to highlight togetherness and purpose. Then out of nowhere, she veered off script and dropped a comment that instantly changed the tone. Not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. Just like that, the air left the room. The energy shifted. You could almost feel the silence settling into the screen as what should have been a message about solidarity turned into a pointed, uncomfortable call-out.
It's a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very, that really needed to be mentioned. I'm trying to make.
But here's where it went from awkward to unbelievable. Sabrina Ionescu was sitting right there, close enough to reach out and tap Plum on the shoulder, representing Team Clark herself. So when that comment landed, it didn't just hang in the air, it hit. Shade felt obvious, unnecessary, and wildly misplaced. Ionescu couldn't even mask it. She shot Plum a look that said, "Are you serious right now?" Followed by a subtle eye roll and a razor-sharp, dripping with sarcasm reply. That really needed to be mentioned in that split second. Tension wasn't just visible, it was undeniable. What was meant to be a unified front had officially turned into a live, unscripted reality show moment.
NBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant jealousy, the blatant hatred towards Caitlin Clark is I mean, it's obvious. They don't even try to hide it. We got Kelsey Plum talking about these pathetic shirts that they wore out onto the court. And I'm going to tell you, these players all put these shirts on. And like I said in a couple of previous videos,
the tension in that room, you could slice it. Sabrina Ionescu's face said everything words didn't. This wasn't just a little awkward exchange. It felt completely out of bounds. A veteran taking a public swipe at teammates who weren't even present to respond, all while preaching unity, is the kind of contradiction fans notice immediately. It undercut the very message they had just tried to present. And here's where the facts make the whole thing even more glaring. When Caitlin Clark was officially ruled out of the All-Star game with injury, the secondary ticket market reacted instantly. Prices for the cheapest seats reportedly dropped from around $121 to $64 in less than a day, a massive dip tied directly to her absence. That's not random fluctuation. That's demand shifting in real time based on one player's availability. Love her or criticize her, the numbers don't lie. Clark moves interest, attention, and revenue in a way that's measurable, which is exactly why shots like that feel less like harmless commentary and more like frustration bubbling to the surface.
Caitlin Clark, she was officially ruled out before all of these things, and look at the news that dropped. This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend, it's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark.
Think about that for a second. The get-in price for an all-star game in the league's hottest market, Caitlin Clark's own backyard, nearly got cut in half the minute she was ruled out. Resale listings dipped into the $60 range, with sellers scrambling just to minimize losses. That's not a mild adjustment. That's panic selling. And the viewership numbers paint an even louder picture. National broadcasts without Clark reportedly fell by around 55%. Even her own team's game saw a dramatic slide, dropping from roughly 1.81 million viewers to about 847,000 when she wasn't on the floor. Those aren't minor fluctuations. That a massive audience shift tied to one name. Whether people love her, critique her, or just tune in out of curiosity, the impact is measurable. Right now, Clark isn't just participating in the spotlight. She's driving